The thought of Kelly Reichardt making a 70s set art heist movie starring Josh O'Connor is one to get any cinephile ravenously excited, especially being that Reichardt is not one to play into convention, and she's always making something that is recognizably hers. There was always very little going on in her work, no twists or turns to guffaw at, just these quaint, emotionally resonant tales of American drifters. She is, however, a filmmaker that has always deconstructed genre in her work, whether it be most notably the Western, with Meek's Cutoff or First Cow, or the eco-thriller with Night Moves, or the road trip movie with Old Joy. She's always stripping back the layers, the expected pacing and plotting, to leave us the most minimal, down-to-earth versions of these stories. And that's exactly what she's done with the Mastermind and the heist genre, which might just be the perfect backdrop for one of her films. Her usual interest in the minutiae of a very particular milieu, finding its most compelling vessel with the world of bumbling art thieves. We're first introduced to O'Connor's character, James Blaine Mooney, in a seductive opening sequence, scored by Rob Mazurek's laid-back, jazzy score, and bathed in an autumnal color palette, courtesy of DP Christopher Blauvelt, that both lend the film a true cozy quality. Lanky and semi-hunched over, O'Connor is wandering around the Framingham Art Museum in western Massachusetts, dressed in just one of his many fuzzy sweaters we see him adorned with throughout the film. He moseys around the gallery room until arriving at a display of hand-carved and painted figurines that he not so sneakily pulls out of the wide-open glass display and steals. All the while his wife Terry, played by Alana Haim in a sadly underused role, and their two twin boys linger from room to room as their father plots out his thievery. But this charming and stylish introduction doesn't exactly set up what's to come in the remaining runtime, as what follows, the so-called big score in a typical heist movie, is stealing 4 abstract paintings by Arthur Dove from this local museum. James Mooney is one of Reichardt's most sublime characterizations yet, using O'Connor's movie star charisma against us to craft a stupid, selfish, petty thief, an unemployed art school dropout who grifts off his parents to fund his heists, mostly spending his days loafing around the house in his boxers and being a deadbeat dad. The film follows this man steadily falling through the cracks of his own life, from the gentleman thief he so desperately wishes he was, to showing his true colors as the kind of guy who robs an old lady for quick cash. And yet this character is oddly magnetic to watch, because of Josh O'Connor, who shows us a different side of him than we've seen before, displaying an almost anti-charisma at every turn, lost and drifting around these American landscapes just to spruce up his comfortable but boring suburban life. He's not stealing these paintings, plotting heists for any monetary gain, but for a brief escape from his ennui, most evident in a very drawn-out sequence where James decides to stow away the art in a pigsty, because he's got the nice house, the nuclear family, the wealthy and influential parents many of his generation dreamt of having. Reichardt, across the film, seamlessly inserts many of the thoughts and anxieties sweeping throughout America in the 70s, social turmoil and war being this ever-present force in the background, the pressure from older generations to conform to their ideas of success, and these crop of young couples being entirely unequipped for suburban life. These things that, try as you might, you just couldn't run away from, no matter what city or familiar embrace you tried to escape to. And of course, these are things that are just as applicable today as they were then, but fortunately, Reichardt doesn't try to harp on that too much and leaves most to the imagination. She instead is more interested in the procedural details of the narrative, bringing to mind Robert Bresson and, most overtly, his 1959 film Pickpocket, but where Bresson analyzes the deft precision and talent of engaging in an actual heist, Reichardt is closely analyzing the fallout, the stupidity and ineptitude of James's petty theft. She actually devotes more runtime to the details of hiding the paintings than the process of stealing them. It's indicative of how unusual this film is as a heist movie, that in a genre deeply embedded in thrill, the Mastermind takes every opportunity it gets to take the thrill in action out entirely. Because at the end of the day, this is a Kelly Reichardt movie through and through, joyously so. It possesses the patient, beautifully quiet poeticism that has defined her work since the very beginning. The many people who have unsuspectingly walked into this film believing that they're sitting down for a more conventional Josh O'Connor heist movie and then walking out angry at the most mellow, minor-key film of the entire year really gives me a good laugh. Nevertheless, Reichardt continues to be one of our great modern masters, just never missing a beat and seemingly getting more assured with each new film. and The Mastermind marks yet another brilliant addition to her already stacked filmography.